Johnny Depp was insulted at a luxury car dealership, and what happened next will blow your mind. Freeze frame on Johnny Depp's face. That signature smirk we all know and love. You think you know Johnny Depp? Well, buckle up, because what happened at this Beverly Hills car dealership will completely change how you see Hollywood's most unpredictable star forever. Picture this. It's a scorching Tuesday afternoon in Beverly Hills, the kind of day where the asphalt shimmers like liquid diamonds and every Lamborghini looks like it's melting into the street. Johnny Depp, yes, that Johnny Depp walks into Prestige Motors, one of the most exclusive luxury car dealerships in California. Now here's where it gets crazy. Johnny's not dressed like you'd expect a multi-millionaire movie star to dress. No designer suits, no flashy jewelry, just worn jeans, a vintage band t-shirt, and those iconic tinted glasses. His hair? Perfectly messy in that effortless way that probably took an hour to achieve. He looks like he just rolled out of bed after a 3-day music festival. The dealership is pristine. We're talking marble floors so shiny you could use them as mirrors, crystal chandeliers that cost more than most people's houses, and cars that look like they were sculpted by angels. Ferraris, Maseratis, Bentleys, machines worth more than small countries' GDP just casually parked like it's no big deal. But here's the thing nobody saw coming. A salesman, let's call him Brad because he definitely looks like a Brad, spots Johnny from across the showroom. Now Brad's got that slicked back hair, that too white smile, and a suit that screams, "I peaked in high school, but now I sell cars to celebrities." He takes one look at Johnny's casual outfit and makes the biggest mistake of his career. Brad doesn't recognize him, not even a little bit. Instead, Brad sees what he thinks is just some random dude who wandered in off the street. Maybe a mechanic, maybe someone's driver. Definitely not someone who belongs in his exclusive dealership. So Brad marches over with this attitude that could cut glass and says, and I'm not making this up. He says, "Excuse me, sir, but I think you might be lost. The bus station is 3 blocks that way." Record scratch the audacity, the absolute mind-blowing audacity of this man to say that to Johnny Depp. Pirates of the Caribbean Johnny Depp, Edward Scissorhands Johnny Depp, the man who's made studios billions of dollars over decades. But here's where Johnny Depp shows us exactly why he's not just a movie star, he's a legend. Instead of going off, instead of demanding to speak to managers, instead of pulling the classic "Do you know who I am?" move that every other celebrity would pull, Johnny just smiles. That mysterious, slightly dangerous smile that made him famous. The smile that says, "I know something you don't know, and you're about to find out what it is." He doesn't say a word, just nods politely and starts walking toward the exit like he's actually going to leave. Brad's feeling pretty proud of himself, thinking he just successfully kicked out some random troublemaker. But then, plot twist, Johnny stops at the most expensive car in the entire showroom. We're talking about a limited edition Bugatti Chiron, only 500 ever made. Price tag, $3.2 million. This car is so exclusive that most millionaires can't even get on the waiting list. Johnny runs his fingers along the hood like he's petting a sleeping dragon. He peers through the windows, checks out the interior, walks around it like he's conducting some kind of automotive inspection. Brad's watching this happen, and his confidence starts cracking like cheap paint. Because Johnny's not looking at this car like some random person who wandered in off the street. He's looking at it like someone who knows cars, like someone who's thinking about buying it. The other salespeople are starting to whisper. A few customers are pulling out their phones, because even though Brad didn't recognize him, other people are starting to realize who they're looking at. Is that? No way. Oh my God, it is him. The whispers are getting louder. Brad's face is getting paler. The horrible realization is dawning on him like the world's most expensive sunrise. He just insulted Johnny Depp. At this point, most celebrities would go nuclear. They'd demand apologies, threaten lawsuits, make phone calls to owners. They'd turn this into a social media disaster that would end careers and close businesses. But Johnny does something no one saw coming. He walks back over to Brad, who at this point looks like he's about to throw up, pass out, or both. And he says in that famous voice we all know, "You know what? You were just doing your job. I respect that." Brad's mouth falls open. He starts stammering apologies, his face turning redder than a Ferrari. "Mr. Depp, I'm so sorry, I didn't recognize you, I never meant to," and Johnny holds up his hand, not in an angry way, in a gentle way, like a dad calming down a panicked kid. "Hey, no worries, mate. We all make mistakes." But then Johnny does something that will restore your faith in humanity. He turns to the dealership manager, who by now has rushed over looking like he wants to crawl into a hole and disappear forever. And Johnny says, "I'd like to buy that Bugatti, but I have one condition." Everyone's holding their breath. The manager's probably thinking about lawsuits, bad publicity, the end of his career. Johnny points at Brad and says, "I want him to get the commission." Silence. You could hear a pin drop in that marble cathedral of luxury cars. Brad's eyes go wide. The manager looks confused. The other customers are filming everything because they know they're witnessing something incredible. "But sir," the manager stutters, "after what happened." Johnny shakes his head. "Look, this young man was protecting your business. He saw someone who didn't look like a typical customer, and he acted professionally. That takes guts. In my business we call that good instincts." Then Johnny does something even more incredible. He sits down with Brad, who's still in shock, and starts talking to him like they're old friends. Asks about his family, his dreams, how long he's been working at the dealership. Turns out Brad's got a sick mom at home, medical bills piling up, and he's working 2 jobs to make ends meet. Johnny listens, really listens, not the fake Hollywood listening, where you're just waiting for your turn to talk. The real kind of listening where you actually care about what someone's saying. Then Johnny says, "You know what, Brad, I'm not just buying 1 car today, I'm buying 3. 3 cars. We're talking almost $10 million worth of vehicles. I'm getting the Bugatti for myself, a Tesla for my daughter, because she's into that environmental stuff," and Johnny pauses for dramatic effect. "A Mercedes for your mom, because nobody should have to choose between getting to doctor appointments and paying rent." Brad starts crying, right there in the middle of the most exclusive car dealership in Beverly Hills. Grown man, completely breaks down because a celebrity he insulted just changed his entire life. But Johnny's not done. He pulls out his phone and makes a call, right there in front of everyone. "Yeah, it's Johnny. I need you to set up a meeting with the head of pediatric oncology at Cedars-Sinai. I've got a friend whose mom needs the best care money can buy." Because here's what Johnny found out during their conversation. Brad's mom doesn't just have any illness, she has cancer. The kind of cancer that requires treatments most insurance companies consider experimental. The kind of treatments that could save her life but cost more than most people make in a decade. Johnny Depp, the man Brad insulted and tried to kick out 30 minutes earlier, just became the answer to prayers. Brad didn't even know how to pray. The story spreads through Beverly Hills like wildfire. Within hours, it's on every gossip blog, every entertainment news show, every social media platform. But this isn't your typical celebrity gossip story. This is a story about how one moment of kindness can change everything. Brad's mom gets her treatment. The experimental therapy works. She goes into remission. Brad gets promoted to senior sales manager because suddenly every celebrity in Hollywood wants to buy their cars from the guy Johnny Depp helped. The dealership becomes famous not for its expensive cars, but for being the place where Johnny Depp proved that kindness is the most valuable currency in the world. And Johnny drives off in his new Bugatti, probably listening to his own music, wearing those signature sunglasses, completely unaware that he just reminded the entire world what it means to be genuinely, authentically human. The best part? When reporters asked him about it later, Johnny just shrugged and said, "Life's too short to hold grudges. Besides, the kid had good instincts. In Hollywood, that's rarer than a $3 million car." And that, my friends, is why Johnny Depp isn't just a movie star. He's a reminder that no matter how famous you get, no matter how much money you have, no matter what mistakes people make, there's always room for kindness. The moral of the story: never judge a book by its cover, because you never know when that random person might just be Captain Jack Sparrow in disguise, ready to turn your worst day into the best day of your life. Cut to Johnny driving off into the sunset, because of course he does. Smash that like button if this story restored your faith in humanity, and subscribe for more incredible true stories that prove the world isn't as crazy as it seems.